Hey guys, we're here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we can't get in. We're going to be out here talking with people about their experiences and hopefully have a few driver interviews on the way. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Let's go!
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
Before you started recording conversations and interviewing personalities, did you find yourself always talking to anyone who would listen to what you had to say?
All the time.
Yeah, especially for me. I could talk to a brick wall, so yeah, definitely for me.
Especially you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually the quietest one of my family, which is a big shocker to people, but yeah. Very chatterboxy.
And if I was in the stands and people were around, I mean, they could be 10 rows in front of me at qualifications, and if I heard them ask a question that I knew the answer to, I'd be like, actually, the reason why they had to fix that on Thursday is because, and I mean, I would just literally just jump into every conversation of anybody, and they're like, well, I don't know why, and I'm like, well, the reason for that is, so, yeah.
A lot.
We still do that.
Yeah, that didn't stop.
Yeah, it has not stopped.
So what was it that motivated you two to stop just being fans and start being people who brings news and perspective to the sport you love?
So we have a tradition on quals where we sit in E stand
On the Saturday of quals.
on the Saturday of quals all day and just talk about the drivers, what's happening, and we have a lot of fun jokes. And it just was like, you know what?
We were cracking ourselves up, and we just kept saying, and we should take this public. People would find us hilarious. I mean, because we are just laughing our butts off at ourselves.
And also, there weren't a lot of women out there talking about the sport either. And it was like, you know what? Like, women would love the sport if they were like, oh, okay, that's how you do it? Cool.
So we thought, you know what? We can put a different spin on things, bring it from a female perspective, and have a lot of fun.
And now my grandma likes hearing you guys in the podcast, so
Oh,
you accomplished your goal.
Oh, right.
Wow, that's great. That's really our demographic, honestly.
Yeah, we have a lot of that age group.
Yeah.
A lot of grandmas and grandpas.
So your fun little decked out car has become recognizable at IndyCar races. How did it come to the existence in the way we know it? Who takes credit for it?
So
Actually, neither one of us get to take credit for the Flamingo golf cart. We were at Mid-Ohio, my goodness.
it was
3 years ago now?
It was 2018.
So 2 years ago now.
And the theme, because they do camping themes, and the theme that year was pirates. And we didn't realize until Road America earlier that year that decorating golf carts was a thing.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Because we didn't have a golf cart the first year at Mid-Ohio. So at Road America, we realized decorating is the thing, and we're like, oh, we're going to go all out for Mid-Ohio, and they have a camping theme. And it was pirates. So we have all these plans. We buy, like, parrot stuff, eye patches, like
pirate flags and whatnot. And my father, who goes to Road America and Mid-Ohio with us, was like, I've got the golf cart. And we were both like,
cool.
you know what? We're going to let him go. And he's like,
trust the man.
He's like, I have a flamingo,
A rubber ducky.
an inflatable rubber ducky. And I was like,
that we're going to put on top.
perfect.
We're
I was
like,
like, that's on theme. And then he goes,
Then he orders it.
he goes,
and it
well,
arrives.
it wasn't actually an inflatable rubber ducky. It's an inflatable pink swan. And I was like, well, okay.
Oh,
And then
right.
he inflates it in my parents' house, and my mother and I both go, that's a flamingo.
Pink swans are not a thing. That's a flamingo.
And it just kind of stuck after that.
And we just leaned into it
because we got
hard.
on the practice feed one day, and from that point on, it just became something that we're like, well, people will know it, people will see it, it's fun.
And I mean, aside from how funny it is, well, it was on the practice feed and with the caption, new pace car, ? And so we start getting texts from people that are watching at home, and they're like, I think this is you.
And we're like,
and we
that's
just
us.
it was just so much fun because then everybody could find us. Everybody recognizes us. I mean, every track worker always knows your dad, but I mean, they see us coming and just wave or high five us as we're driving by. And we also realized, places like Road America and Mid-Ohio where there's a lot of people on golf carts, sometimes there's a whole bunch parked in the same area and you got to remember your golf cart number.
We can't.
Not
do
us. Not a problem. There could be 1,000 golf carts. We can find ours immediately. That was an unintended benefit.
Yes. We put it on top of the van that we bring and pack all of our stuff in. If it's not a golf cart race, we'll still inflate it because we have it.
And why not? And so then we will bungee cord it to the roof of the van, which again also makes it very easy to always find our
us.
spot.
You are all big Ed Carpenter fans. it's made no secret who you guys root for. As journalists, even on social media, are we supposed to remain unbiased, or is it okay to have favorites? What are your thoughts?
So, I think part of why we can have favorites is that we're not the traditional media that's like, here are all the facts. Like, here's who placed, first. Here's who got the speed.
We're not a news organization. We're not journalists.
It's more opinion based, and at that point,
or like color commentary. And
Yeah.
as somebody said at Road America, we don't break the news, we fix it.
yeah, that was great to hear.
That was a great joke. So, because we're not presenting everything from just an objective, this is what happened, these are the facts. We're telling you what happened, but we're also kind of providing our spin on it. I feel no problem with us having favorites.
And I also think that the real traditional media, it's okay to have favorites. Tell somebody, yeah, you know what? Foyt's my favorite driver of all time, but here's what happened. It's okay to have favorites. It makes you more of a person as a journalist to be like, yeah, I really root for this driver a lot and I love him. Here's what the others did. This one's my favorite.
But yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody has a favorite.
Everybody has
a favorite.
Put it out there.
I think what's important is that, even though we might talk about some drivers more than others, we still talk about everybody, and we still, we are at the track and can take photos. We make sure that we spend time in every pit box.
Yeah.
So, it's like the photos and the cars that we are able to put up, represents the whole field. We don't only take photos of, 3 cars or anything.
Yeah.
As non-credential media, we have a unique perspective for those who follow us. In a non-COVID world, how do you think IndyCar loyal social media channels can overcome and get approved for media credentials? Are we at a disadvantage because we aren't affiliated with any major news outlets? What are your thoughts on gaining access to races with other social medias?
Here's the current problem right now with the credentialing process, and we actually do have hard cards for the 2nd year in a row. I'm very sad that it's become mostly a bookmark for us this year. But the problem with those of us who are mostly online or do podcasts and things of that nature is that there are still people in the upper echelon of IndyCar who believe that print media is the end-all be-all. And the thing is, print media will die before they do. And so new media is what we do. Mm-hmm. It's interactive. Video, photos, it engages you, it engages younger generations. And if you want to grow the sport, if you want to grow your fans, you have to meet them where they're at. A need has been created, and we need to fill it. We are filling it. And IndyCar proper needs to recognize that nobody is reading newspapers anymore. If they're reading an article, it's off of a Twitter link or off of a Facebook link. Nobody's getting the paper delivered. It's actually more expensive to only get the Indy Star online than it is to get it delivered to your house and online. Those of us who do things like this, the videos, asking different types of questions and not the same questions every time, and allow our personalities to get into a little bit more, I think that we're kind of breaking through some long grass right now.
Yes.
But that it's going to be easier in the future. Because it's only going to become more and more popular.
How long can you personally continue coming to races without being able to meet the drivers when fans are allowed to attend?
Forever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think meeting the drivers, talking to the drivers is definitely important because they have the best seat in the house. They're the ones who can really tell you if you ask the right questions, which those of us in kind of the new media do. But at the same time, being at races, seeing it, watching it, we have our opinions and our ideas of what happened, and that's still engaging with everybody else.
Because when you go to the IMSA races, you'll have all of Team Penske sitting there at a picnic table. You can't even do that anymore, so that's why we're saying, how you go to get a pizza at Domino's and they have that big glass partition?
Yeah.
It's just like a slot here where you can slide things through.
Hello.
At the very least,
Yeah, so I think that initially we're going to see something like that where
Absolutely.
it's more of a plexiglass thing and an even more impersonal interaction.
Like a bank teller.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a bank teller in a bad neighborhood. So I think that is probably kind of how it's going to come back initially, but I'm hopeful that as we have more information and as science kind of catches up to this and we get a better hold on it, that we can, get back to pretty, the normal that we all used to know.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the Indy 500. I know I did. That was so amazing to watch. Congrats to Takuma Sato, and wherever you are, I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share.